Let's talk about another stack that you like this weekend. This time, it's a quarterback, Drew Brees, and Tre'Quan Smith. Tell me why Tre'Quan.
Yeah, so Traquan kind of fits with the mentality of getting cheap exposure to a high scoring game. In this Rams Saints game, the total in this game is 60. So there's going to be a lot of points here. And I want to find ways to get exposure, but Michael Thomas is expensive. You've got guys like Todd Gurley, like Brandon Cooks, like Robert Woods, Jared Goff. They're all very expensive. So if you want to get exposure to this game, most of the times you got to pay up. But you don't got to pay up for Tre'Quan Smith. He is $5,100, and he's tied to a Drew Brees-led offense. And ever since Ted Ginn went down, Tre'Quan's had a really good role. He has 16.5% of their targets in those three games, with 38% of the deep targets. And the reason we have not really noticed that is because they have not thrown very much. They've been able to lean on Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara and kind of take Drew Brees out of the equation. But this week, they're hosting the Rams. That's not a matchup where you can just sit back and let the ground game do all the work. I think that Ingram and Kamara should have good games, but I also think that the Saints are going to have to throw the ball a decent amount, which should bump up the target totals for Tre'Quan Smith quite a bit. This Rams defense has not been the same ever since the Aqib Talib injury. They allowed big production to Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. So I'm hoping the recent output on Tre'Quan Smith will put a cap on his ownership. We've got guys like Cortland Sutton, who is a cheap wide receiver. We got DJ Moore. So there are other cheap wide receivers to take attention away from Tre'Quan Smith, but they don't get you exposure to a game as high scoring as this one. So I think I am going to have quite a bit of Tre'Quan Smith this weekend. I'm going to use Michael Thomas too, for sure. But if I want to get cheap exposure to this game, Tre'Quan Smith to me easily the best way for doing so.
It's simple. The price is right for Tre'Quan Smith, and you pair him with Drew Brees in a matchup against another potent offense. And it seems like a calculated good risk to take.